Hello, welcome back to Joe's Home Flavors. So today we're going to be cooking fried chicken Kentucky style, but we're going to be cooking drumsticks alone, and look at the sum of them. Okay, so here we go. Obviously we're going to be doing drumsticks, as you can probably guess by now. And we're going to be needing a couple of things, not so many though. So we're going to be needing plain flour with a little bit of cornstarch, and actually self-raising flour with a little bit of cornstarch. We also going to be needing our breadcrumbs. In my particular case, today, and for this dish alone, we are using a mix of breadcrumbs and nachos, crumbed nachos. Yes, that's right. This is my special mix, which we do in a house, and it has nothing to it. It's just crushed nachos, and we make sort of a breadcrumb consistencies out of them, and then we mix them with the actual breadcrumbs, and it makes a big difference. And I have this dry rub, which I've made myself as well. All the portions and all the spices that go into it, all the ingredients of this dry rub will be on the recipe on joeshomeflavors.com. And we're going to be marinating the chicken drumsticks with this, and we're going to be needing a few eggs as well to make an egg wash. And obviously some cooking oil and a pan, and we're ready to go. Right, so the first thing we need to do in order to get our drumsticks ready is to clean them a little bit and push the meat downwards to make an actual drumstick, so that one that you can grab without this nasty bit over here. So we can take a little knife. You use whatever knife you're comfortable with, and go cut around the whole of the thigh, like that, all the way, nerves and all. There's a couple of tendons on this. I don't know if you've done this before, but there's a couple of tendons which you need to obviously cut as well. And you will now going to remove this bit. Okay, you try to clean that as best as possible, and then with the tip of the knife, just push that down a little bit. Okay. Now these tendons here, you can either pull them or just leave them back. So the idea is to have our drumstick look something like this. Okay. Okay, so all our drumsticks are now ready and clean. So we've cleaned the top of the ends of our drumsticks. Pull the skin down if you're keeping the skin, and just clean a little bit around that bone there, so it will be easier in the end to serve and to actually eat. So now we have the drumsticks ready. It's time to marinate them. So I'm going to transfer them onto this bowl over here. So we're going to rub them on that dry rub we've just made. So again, all the portions for this rub and all that goes in it or to it will be available on our website. I think we have pretty enough, and this will be, I mean, it will be your judgment how much you're going to need. So it's time now to get our hands in there and make sure that that rub gets everywhere in that chicken. Once this is done, it needs to have this rub on for at least half an hour before you actually do the frying. So everything that you need flavor wise is going to be on this rub. You have your salt, your pepper, your cumin, your coriander, your parsley, you have all of it, and a few other things, Cajun. So you need to make sure that all of your chicken gets that rub. So now this should stay like this for at least half an hour before you fry it. So our oil seems to be at the temperature that we desire, which should be a medium-high heat, but we need to then control the temperature in order not to burn our chicken. And now we'll take the chicken drumsticks, and first thing we need to do is to get it in the flour. And I like to use these bowls rather than plates, because obviously they will get, they're easier to maneuver, and it's easier to maneuver these as well. And then into the egg, like that, excess off, and then just toss it around here. Make sure that it gets really nice and coated, and then into the oil. And again, so flour first. This flour is already seasoned, and I also like to add a little bit of salt, pepper and paprika to my eggs as well, because obviously this is a layer composition, and we need to make sure that the seasoning gets in, to the chicken. Okay, so here we go again, another one. So they will cook here for about 10 minutes, and then we'll finish them off in the oven. Okay, so again, seasoned flour, seasoned eggs, and the breadcrumbs aren't seasoned, but because it's a mixture of breadcrumbs and nacho crumbs, and the nachos have already salt in them, ends up being seasoned as well. Right, so now we have all our drumsticks fried. So they cooked for about 10 minutes and at about 180 degrees on the oil. But anything between 5 and 10 minutes is fine. And then obviously we're going to finish cooking them in the oven. It's already preheating at 180 degrees as well, and it should cook there for somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast your oven is. So once that's done, we're going to serve and see how they turn out. Here we have it, folks, our fried chicken Kentucky style. It's been so it cooked for about 7 minutes on the oil at around 180 degrees. So a medium to high temperature on the oil, and then they drained a little bit, and they went on they drained on a tray, and then they went in the oven for another half an hour, again at 180 degrees to finish cooking. So here we are. I left them resting a little bit, so give it a chance for the juices to flow back together. And yeah, and this is the result. These little things here, these silver foil caps I put on the thighs, it's basically to make it easier and less of a mess to eat it by hand, and this is why I don't have any cutlery with me today. It also looks pretty on a plate, so I'm gonna give it a go. I do apologize, but I need to know if this went well or not, so just bear with me a second. I don't know if you can hear this crunch, but look at that. Beautiful crust on the outside, cooked to perfection, thank you, and every bit flavorful, because we have the care of seasoning every step of the way. Just enough seasoning. So we had seasoning on the eggs, we had seasoning on the flour, and obviously on the marinade as well. And this way, the whole thing comes together in layers, and with just the right amount of seasoning, which is what we were looking for. And the crust is very nice and crispy. This nacho, which is a corn chip sort of thing, gives it a nice texture, and also again another detail on the flavor. And it's nice and juicy on the inside, and yeah. Stunning. I'm going to finish that in a minute. Thank you very much for watching. Go on my website to see all the details, including the the seasoning, the rub, the dry rub, how do I came up with it, and what sort of spices go into it. And so you have it hand. You can make that rub and just have it hand for whenever you want to use it, and also to see all these processes, which is pretty straightforward. And go on there, comment on there if you like, or comment down here, and take a look at my other recipes. And if you haven't followed me yet, if you're not subscribing, please do. But don't forget to activate that little bell so you know when I'm sharing new content. And thank you for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.